Well, welcome. In this video, I'm going to teach you to think in English with a masterful language learning strategy that I've developed over the years. I think this video is related to first video actually on mother tongue interference. So, this is the idea that you translate everything directly from your first language into second language, in our case English. So, looking at this image now, I'm going to explain why I adopted this language learning strategy. And actually, I started learning Serbian back in 2013, so I needed a quick fix really to learn the language before I moved there. So I needed a way to record these many words and phrases that I was coming across in everyday life, in conversations, in my reading, and eventually when I moved to Serbia, street signs, conversations with my wife's family. So as you can see here, we've got the English words on the left and the Serbian words with associated collocations and sentences on the right. So really it all started out as a Google Doc, a means to record vocabulary. And I gradually shifted towards recording collocations and personalized sentences which contained this target vocabulary and phrases. So as you can see, after a dash we've got the collocations, after a star we've got the personalized sentences. So coming to this example now, let me just explain what personalization means. We've got here the English word foreigner, and in Serbian that's stranac. We've got the feminine form strankinja and the plural form stranci. And we've got two personalized sentences. These are sentences that are familiar to me. In this case they're about my life, but they can be about your life, people you know, familiar situations, hobbies. So typical. Predajem engleski za strance, so I teach English to foreigners. And the second sentence, I won't get into the Serbian, but essentially it says that I know how people behave towards foreigners in a town I lived in Bosnia many years ago where I taught. So really from my experience. Now let's have a look at another image here, another screenshot coming up. And let's imagine we've got an English language learner who's Polish, also a musician, an animal lover. So they can stay close to their passions with the word phrase table here and the personalized sentences. So in Polish we've got wymagający, in English demanding, we've got collocations here, technically and physically demanding, and a true sentence for this learner. Beethoven's Hammerklavier is one of the most technically demanding pieces of music I've ever attempted to master. True sentence for that learner. Let's have it in the table. The second example here, we've got Polish, polubić kogoś. In English, we can have take to someone. So I took to my new colleagues really quickly. Yeah, like them immediately. Fortunately, my golden retriever and British cat took to each other immediately. So they formed a nice bond and relationship straight away. Now, visualization, very much underestimated in language learning. It is vital. In my experience, visualization is vital. So you see these examples now coming back to the word demanding. We've got some red color here in italics and a different font for the collocation technically demanding. And for take to someone, we've underlined, we've got big font, we've got green font, everything going on here with the second example, take to someone. I think the important thing here is, and let's put up this first image again, the non-linear nature of language learning. So at the beginning, I don't think you have to really learn silly words like most people do when they learn a foreign language. You learn the colors, names of members of the family, names of animals, all these things that you will never use in your life really. Eventually I think they'll be learned anyway with exposure to the language, so I don't think you really need to focus on them. Think about language for communication. So right from the get-go, right from the start of learning Serbian, I was picking up words like proud, treatment, interesting, emotionally close. So these are not what beginner learners would typically learn in a foreign language when I think about my learners of English. So particularly in traditional contexts such as schools, it's always about the colours and animals, as I mentioned. Now, point 7, that's about, I like to use a phrase, swimming in the brain. So if you read through your sentences every day at the beginning, then every second day, every third day, every fifth day, you know where I'm going, space repetition, you will find that they're swimming in your brain, they're in your mind when you're in conversation, in the heat of a conversation, so they'll be there somewhere. If not full sentences, then just phrases, parts of these sentences. So really, when you're speaking a foreign language, you're constantly tuned into your word phrase table. I think it's not just about words and phrases, it's also about grammar as well. So we can learn pieces of grammar and tenses here. Think about the present perfect. Imagine if we had the word before in our word phrase table, and you've got the sentence, I've been to Rome before. Well, you're going to pick up the present perfect as well as the word before. So it's a bonus in essence. You're picking up grammar as well. Now, in Serbian, this I've been to Rome before is probably directly translated in English as I was in Rome before, or I was in Rome. So when I had to speak about my travel experiences in Serbian, it's as if a switch would flick in my mind. I could immediately use the correct form in Serbian, which is quite distant from the English present perfect, because I could remember these sentences from my word phrase table, and crucially be able to use these sentences in conversation. Now, here's a good example actually from my table. Word 278, country. Personalized sentences at that time, I think this was about 10 years ago, I've been to over 20 countries, bio sam preko 20 zemalja. So there you go, that's the equivalent of the English present perfect, and I still remember that sentence to this day. Anyway, all in all, I think this method helped me to avoid directly translating from English into Serbian. And final point, you need a strategy. If you want to think in English and stop directly translating from your mother tongue into English, you need a strategy. You need something to fall back on. So all in all, that's a look at the word phrase table. We'll see you soon for more English from the Heart.